Good morning, class 6. We know very well that we are doing our chapter number 3 of geography, which is motion of the earth. Yesterday in our previous lecture we already discussed that there are two movements of the earth. The first one is rotation and the second one is a revolution. Today we will discuss about the summer solstice and the winter solstice, and the third one is equinox. In previous diagram we already discussed that three movements is there, and here you can see by this diagram you can see the first one, equinox. Equinox when the day and nights are equal, and here is winter solstice when the days are small and nights are big, and here is 21st June when the days are big and the nights are small. By this diagram, this is the explanation of this diagram. So today we will discuss this. The first one, look at the figure 3.3. We already discussed and we already see. You will see that on 21st June the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. On 21st June the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. The rays of the sun, when the area tilted toward the sun, then the rays of the sun fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. As a result, these areas receive more heat. When any part of the earth is direct to the sun so that it receives direct sunlight, the areas near the poles receive less heat because the sun rays are slanting on the poles. That's why the poles receive less heat as compared to poles, as the rays of the sun are slanting. The North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the place beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. Whenever our Earth, the northern hemisphere, faces toward the sun, then the Arctic Circle, which is in the side of North Pole, it faces 6 months daylight. It faces continuous daylight for about 6 months. Since a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in the regions north of equator. The longest day and the shortest night at these places occur on 21st June. 21st June is the day when we celebrate the longest day and the shortest night. On this day, on 21st June, we have longest day and smallest or shortest night. At this time, the southern hemisphere, all these conditions are reversed. When the northern pole or the northern hemisphere faces the sun, then the all situations which are in northern hemisphere are reversed from the southern hemisphere. When the north hemisphere facing summers, then the southern hemisphere faces winters. All these conditions are reversed. It is winter season there. That is why when we celebrate Christmas in winter and Australia celebrate Christmas in summers. When we celebrate in winters, we celebrate Christmas, but the position of Australia is reversed to India, so that Australia celebrate Christmas in summers. The nights are longer than the days. This position of the earth is called the summer solstice. Summer solstice, when the northern hemisphere faces more heat and it receives summer, and the southern hemisphere faces less heat, and all the situations, all the conditions are in reverse from the northern hemisphere, and summer hemisphere faces winter season. This situation is known as summer solstice. Next one is on 22 December, the Tropic of Capricorn received direct rays of the sun. Which latitude line passes through the India? It's Tropic of Cancer. But here we talk about the Tropic of Capricorn. On 22 December, the Tropic of Capricorn received direct rays of the sun as the south pole tilted towards it. When the south pole tilted means झुका हुआ, tilted towards the sun, then the southern hemisphere, the middle part is Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. So the Tropic of Capricorn received direct rays of the sun. And as the sun rays falls vertically at the Tropic of Capricorn, a larger portion of the southern hemisphere gets light. Therefore, it is summer in southern hemisphere and with longer days and shorter night. When the sun rays fall directly to the southern hemisphere, then it receives more heat and the days are long and the nights are small. This reverse happens in the northern hemisphere. When we talk about the summer solstice, then the northern hemisphere faces direct sunlight and days are big and nights are small. Reverse in southern hemisphere. But when we talk about the winter solstice, then the northern hemisphere faces winter and the more heat received by Tropic of Cancer means summer or southern hemisphere. Do you know that Christmas is celebrated in Australia in summer season? Because the situation and conditions are reversed in northern and southern hemisphere, so that the Christmas is celebrated in Australia in summer season. On 21st March and 23rd September, remember this date, on 21st March and 23rd September, direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. Direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. At this position, neither of the poles is tilted towards the sun. In this position, when we talk about the 21st March and 23rd September, then the sun is equal for them, so that neither of the pole is tilted toward the sun, so the whole earth experiences equal day and equal night. This is called equinox. Equinox means equal day and equal night. On 23rd September, it is autumn season in the northern hemisphere and spring season in the southern hemisphere. The opposite in the case of 21st March. The two dates are here, 21st March and 23rd September. It is on 23rd September, northern hemisphere faces spring season and southern hemisphere faces spring season and northern hemisphere faces autumn season. But on 21st March, the situation is opposite. On 21st March, autumn season is in southern hemisphere and spring season is in northern hemisphere. So that by this chapter we understood that there are days and night and changes in seasons because of rotation and revolution of the earth respectively. By this chapter we easily understood that the rotation and revolution is most important part of our earth. Days and night changes because of rotation and changes in season because of revolution. When the earth rotates on its own axis is known as rotation, and it completes one rotation in 24 hours. And revolution means when the earth revolves around the sun. It takes 365 days and 6 hours. We count 6 hours for 4 years, and that is why the 4th year is known as leap year, and it has 366 days. Now your first question is, what is the angle of inclinations of the earth axis with its orbital plane? Yes, 66.5 degree. Define rotation and revolution. When the earth rotates on its own axis is known as rotation, and revolve around the sun is revolution. What is a leap year? After 4 years, earth takes 366 days because we count 4 hours every year, and in the 4th year we make it 24 hours, means 1 day extra in February. That is why the February has 29 days instead of 28 in the leap year. Differentiate between the summer and winter solstice, we already discussed. Equinox, when days and nights are equal. Southern hemisphere experiences winter and summer solstice is different time that of the northern hemisphere. We already discussed that due to revolution, the seasons are different in southern and northern hemisphere. Now next question is, why do the poles experiences about 6-month days and 6-month night? Because the earth tilted 66.5 degree tilted towards the sun, and when the one pole, means when the north pole is tilted toward the sun, then the south pole is far from the sun. That is why the first poles experiences 6-day night and 6-day days. 6 months, sorry. Next is the movement of the earth around the sun is known as movement of the earth. Very good. Rotation. Direct rays of the sun fall on the equator. 21st June, 22 December or 21st March. Right answer first. Now next is, Christmas is celebrated in summer Australia. Cycle of the season is caused due to revolution. These fill in the blanks, you will solve this book exercise and send it to me. Thank you so much, class.